Welcome to Caleb's Basketball Pod. Sorry for the delay, but as promised, here is our All NBA episode. And I'll give you a little breakdown as we go, talking about the teams. Believe there's 3 All NBA teams, so we're going to start with. We'll start at All NBA Team 3, and we'll work our way up to 2, then 1. So let's go for the 4th team. This was tough. Trying to find forwards. I believe there's a lot of players that could be on there. Looking at guys like Pascal Siakam, who's had an amazing year. Some more players along the lines. Guys like I don't think Julius Randle's made the threshold. I don't think OG has OG Anunoby has a chance to be on there. I think there's a lot of just players around the league, especially Anthony Davis don't meet that threshold. Victor Wembanyama don't meet that threshold now. Aaron Gordon's played really good basketball. I think he had a shot to be on there. And it comes down to not only what they've done on the court, but for me, it's like their contributions to winning. So at that point, I went with, for my forward spots, I went Jalen Williams of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Thunder will probably finish the league with the best record in the whole NBA. And I just love what he's done, and I love how he's played all season. I think it's really underrated just how good he's been and how he's came into his own. Going to go Alperen Sengun from the Houston Rockets. Again, this guy, he's led the charge for the Houston Rockets. He's been, as Kendrick Perkins calls him, Baby Jokic. And I respect his game. I think he's been a star in this league. And he's the guy for the Houston Rockets right now that may very well come away with the 2nd seed in the Western Conference, so that's huge. The last one, like I said, you had guys like Pascal Siakam. I thought he had a big shot to make it, and numerous players around the league. But I went with Evan Mobley. Again, it's just contribution to winning. And I also think Evan Mobley, as I mentioned before, should be the Defensive Player of the Year. At that point, being the Defensive Player of the Year, I do think should get you a spot on the All-NBA team. Also, someone else that had an amazing season that did not make it, in my opinion, of who I would pick for the All-NBA 4 team, Jaren Jackson. Props to him, amazing season. It's disappointing that Memphis has stumbled to the finish line, because I think if they were a top 3 or 4 seed, I would most definitely have picked him, at least on my picks for the All-NBA team. Guards, this is difficult. This is really difficult. I think when it comes down to the 4-team slot, I think there's 3 guys that you can name that just really deserve this spot, and that's what makes it so hard. Jaylen Brown, I believe he's put, even All-Star-wise, I believe he's been put in as a guard. So that's what we have Jaylen Brown as. And for me, Jaylen Brown has to make it. Anchor to that Boston Celtics team. He does a lot of the dirty work. He's a guy that really, again, going back to what I said, he really has a lot to do with winning and helping the Boston Celtics win a championship last year. He was your Finals MVP. Then for the last one, it came down between James Harden and Anthony Edwards, in my opinion. And I went with Anthony Edwards. No disrespect to what James Harden's done. I believe he's an amazing talent and player, and he's done great this year, and he's kept the Clippers afloat until Kawhi got back. Now they're kind of double teaming this. But Anthony Edwards, he's took his game to another level. His 3-point shot has become so smooth and so clean. And now he's knocking those down consistently. He's being more of a leader on the floor. You can see that he's just changed his game, and he is the guy in Minnesota undoubtedly, and he is a guy for the league for years to come. Now, for number 2, we'll start again at our forward slots. Our forward slots for here, and this all depends on this depends on if Kevin Durant, I mentioned it a couple episodes ago, he may not meet that 65 game threshold. If he doesn't, I would move Şengün up to this team, up to the All-NBA number 2 team, and I would move Pascal Siakam in on the 4th team if Kevin Durant don't meet that threshold. Because despite the Suns' record, Kevin Durant has been playing amazing basketball. 12 straight seasons shooting over 50% as a perimeter player. That's insane. That's NBA history, and averaging near 30 points a game. Kevin Durant's done it all this year. It's not from his style of play on the floor. It's not his fault that the Suns are not the team they should be, because he's done everything possible to try and make them that team. So we're going to start with Kevin Durant there. We're going to go Karl-Anthony Towns. As I've mentioned before on this show, I just believe going to New York has made Karl-Anthony Towns a superstar. We see it more and more each time he steps on the floor as a New York Knick. He wears that Knicks jersey with pride, and he's been balling out and playing amazing basketball. And I think he's went to a level he couldn't reach in Minnesota, and he's reached that in New York. Last one, only thing maybe a little surprising some people maybe that he's on All-NBA number 2 team. But that's just because of MVP candidates on All-NBA team number 1, in my opinion. But that would be none other than LeBron James. But no matter what, the fact that he's still on an All-NBA team at this point in his career, over 40 years old, you have to give props to him. One of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time. And just what he's done this season, again, it's almost surprising, but it's not even surprising just because of who he is and just because of how good he is. Now for our guards, as I mentioned, there's a lot of deserving guards too, but I had to go with, for number 2, I had to go with Jalen Brunson for New York Knicks. Again, just amazing basketball he's been playing. We've seen him return and help the Knicks beat the Phoenix Suns. He's able to score on anyone. His floater's been dangerous. Just everything. You'd think his production would go down with Towns, but he's allowed Towns to grow his game without his production going down, and you're still getting Jalen Brunson. The Knicks, again, have a star in Jalen Brunson. And again, it's maybe a little bit surprising that he's on number 2, but he's took till mid-season to torn up. He was doing good at the start of the year, but he's took till mid-season to really torn up. I'm talking about Stephen Curry. The stuff he's been doing, especially as of late, it's just out of this world. He had 52 points. He counted that with 30-some the next night. Beating the Lakers, beating the Nuggets, you name it. Steph Curry has been on one, and especially as of late. Little rough game last night against the Houston Rockets, but the best of us have bad shooting days, and he is the best shooter, so it happens to all of us. Now, again, no disrespect to anyone, LeBron, Curry, people could say they could be number 1. In the number 1 team, yes, for sure. No disrespect to them, but my All-NBA number 1 team is because these are the top 5 MVP candidates, in my opinion. Another guard I should mention that didn't make the list for me that was really close, Cade Cunningham. You can't deny what he's done. He's made the Detroit Pistons from a joke into him really taking control and being the leader, and now they are a good playoff team. And that's like he did a lot of work, him with the help of J.B. Bickerstaff maturing the team and firing them up. And yeah, Detroit is not the laughingstock. They're a salvageable, really good basketball team right now. So I just want to mention that before we jump into All-NBA first team guys, in my opinion. We're going to go Giannis Antetokounmpo. He has been dominating, especially as of late. We saw 34, 17, and 20. That's insane. There's never been stats like that. That was the first game of its type. And just what he's doing, and now there's more pressure on him without Dame Lillard in the last couple of weeks. And he's taking the pressure. They were the 6th seed. Milwaukee's winning a couple straight, and now they're back at that 5th seed. They're still on the heels of the Indiana Pacers. Again, another one that could have made it as a guard, Tyrese Halliburton. I want to mention him, honorable mention. Yeah, now they're there, and the Bucks are right there in the mix for the 4th seed. So, hey, we don't know what's going to happen. Still a lot of time left in the season. Next guy on the team, Jason Tatum. I don't think he gets the respect he deserves. I've mentioned you on here over and over again. I believe he is a top 3 MVP candidate in my opinion, just because of what he does. He does win in basketball. He's not trying to get the spotlight. He's trying to go out there and do everything that it takes to win basketball games. Why being the guy? Why being the leader without complaining about not getting the attention, without being a diva about it? Respect Jason Tatum, amazing basketball player. He most definitely is on the All-NBA first team to me. And then last for our forward positions, Nikola Jokic. It should not be a surprise to anyone. The Joker, he's done amazing things. We talked about 62-point triple-double, highest point total for a triple-double in NBA history. And the stuff he does more and more each game just makes you see that this guy it's not MVP conversations. It's best basketball player in the world right now conversations that we're having with Nikola Jokic. That's how good this man is. And he makes it look effortless and easy. Now moving on to our guards to finish up here. One of the guards, we're going to have Donovan Mitchell. Just taking a step back in Cleveland, taking less minutes, but the production's not going down. The usage has gone down, which is great, and it's preserving him, but the production's not. He's still scoring, still averaging 25 points a game about. Still, just when you need him, he's that guy. And just the leadership he's done. In my opinion, again, a top 5 MVP candidate. And Cleveland has the best record in the East currently. So I don't think there's any way possible you leave Donovan Mitchell off of our NBA first team. And now, our last one should be no surprise to anyone, SGA. In my opinion, still the leading MVP candidate. So many 30-point games, it's hard to count. The stuff he's doing is stuff that we haven't seen done since Michael Jeffrey Jordan. And that's insane to say, but some of the stats he's doing and some of the percents he's shooting and how he's getting there is stuff that we haven't seen since Michael Jordan. That's insane to say, but he's been that guy. All season, he's been that guy leading one of the youngest teams in the league to the number 1 seed in the whole NBA. It's insane what he's done, and no one can deny SGA, in my opinion, not only on the first All-NBA team, but in my opinion, also the MVP of the NBA season. That'll do it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Tune into the next one.